Once owning a home was a big part of the American dream, but now houses are becoming so expensive, many people are choosing to rent instead.
We have an unprecedented opportunity, at least in my working lifetime, to really press rents. Press rents on renewals because the country is highly occupied. We're 97.5%. And so where are people going to go? They can't go anywhere. They want to be in apartments, or they have to be in apartments. And we have a tremendous opportunity to press both on renewing leases for existing residents and to reset market rates, which we've reset numerous times.
A computer algorithm from a Texas-based company called RealPage, illegally helping landlords fix the prices of millions of apartments around the country.
$2 to $3 grand on average. You need to make 2 to 3 times that. $9,000 a month. How many people with regular bachelor degrees are even making that? No one.
Colorado, y'all are on some crack cocaine. So I got a letter from my apartment complex. Basically, if Ty and I choose to renew our lease in August, it's gonna cost us $4,008 a month. We live in a 2-bed, 2-bath in South Denver. We would be paying almost as much as my parents do for a 7-bedroom, 11-acre house.
In 2017, your average 1-bedroom rent, $1,200. Today, oh, just $2,400.
There's not a single state, city, or county where a worker can afford a 2-bedroom rental at minimum wage.
You know what's funny, right? The average cost of rent rose up from $2,000 to $3,000, right? And if you're supposed to make 3 times the amount of your rent in order to qualify to be able to rent a place, that means you had to make $9,000 a month, meaning you had to make over $90,000 a year.
Even from my hometown in New York City to places all over our country, a lot of people are stuck in a loop, paying more rent, trying to catch that feeling of being safe and stable, which seems to be running away faster and faster each day. Now, some people on TikTok are talking about how tough renting can be. Is the idea of the American dream changing with these stories? Join me as we look into the TikToks and dig into America's rent problem, checking out the scary numbers and finding out what's pushing rents sky high. So, I live in New York City, Brooklyn, New York, born and raised. It's extremely expensive to live here. It's pretty obvious at this point. It carries a hefty price tag for those who are dreaming to call this place a home. The rent scenario here is a stark representation of the larger housing crisis engulfing the entire nation. As of October 2023, Manhattan's soaring skyscrapers comes with equally soaring rent prices. A studio apartment, the epitome of compact living, demands an average rent of $3,557. As the living space expands to a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom apartment, the rent climbs to $4,350, up to $5,000 respectively. I live in Brooklyn, and it's pretty expensive here as well. The average rent here fluctuates between $3,550 to $4,330, painting a picture of a relentless rent market that shows no signs of easing. With such steep rent prices, the dream of having a spacious apartment often remains just a dream for many New Yorkers. The term rent burden isn't just a statistical fact, but a harsh daily reality. Trying to find an apartment in New York City, you have to realize that many places they want you to earn at least 40 times the rent. 40 times the rent.
Although I have a 740 credit score, I have savings, and I make 30 times the rent. But because I don't make 40 times the rent on my own, although we make more than 40 times the rent together, we don't qualify according to New York City real estate. I don't understand, because it's like, so credit is powerful enough to make you a poor applicant when it's not good, but it's not powerful enough to make you a good applicant when it's good?
And if you're lucky, you can apply for the lotto system, where you can apply to live in a pretty decent building. Hopefully you get in, which is again a lottery. It's not based on anything you will do. It's just you apply and hopefully get in to get a decent apartment. These are the challenges New Yorkers are facing every day just to have 4 walls and a roof over your head for over half of the renting households in New York City. The financial stretch doesn't stop at rent. Every dollar earned competes with a multitude of necessities and desires, often leading to a tightrope walk of financial stability. The struggle extends beyond the financial aspect. The emotional strain of maintaining sky-high rents while striving for a decent quality of life in a city known for its endless opportunities can be overwhelming.
We have immense inequality. Pushing forward higher rents would be unconscionable.
But you want to give them more money. More money. More money. While they put us in the streets.
Sandra Mitchell has health issues and is afraid of ending up back in a city shelter.
Now I've had my sixth stroke from being in the shelter twice, and now I have this apartment. Now I'm fighting for my rent not to go up.
The narrative for New York City's rent scenario is a microcosm of the larger national crisis, offering a glimpse into the multifaceted challenges faced by renters in America's urban heartlands. Stepping beyond the confines of New York City, we find that the storyline of crazy, expensive rents goes across the nation. The average rent price nationally stands at $1,372 as of 2023, a figure that has been on a steady upward trajectory.
This 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 900 square foot apartment with a loft with a balcony and a garage in North Orange County, Southern California, runs me $2,300 a month.
This escalating cost has dire implications for the financial stability of many Americans. Rent burden is no longer a rare condition, but a widespread reality for many households. This is defined as dedicating over 30% of one's income towards housing costs, a threshold that once crossed begins to strain the purse strings significantly. You're not going to be able to afford that stuff that you need because rent takes so much of your pay. The renter to owner ratio, which is nearly balanced at 50%, unveils a subtle narrative. The transition from being a renter to a homeowner is a distant dream for many people.
Eastern Washington state is emblematic of a housing problem sweeping the country. Many say the rent is too damn high, and experts say it's in part due to the high cost of buying a home.
A lot of those people considering buying that first home are kind of pressing pause on that search, but they turn around and find that their rent has also increased really substantially.
It's the renters who are almost 90% more likely to be behind on housing payments compared to homeowners. The precarious financial balance teeters on the brink, especially for those earning modest incomes. To afford a basic 2-bedroom apartment in the US, renters need to earn an average $20.30 per hour, a stark contrast to the federal minimum wage that is only $7.25. The gap is not only glaring but widening. The emotional toll this crisis exacts is profound. When a substantial chunk of one's income is funneled into securing a roof overhead, the ramifications echo through other aspects of life. Basic necessities, let alone small luxuries, becomes a juggle. The joy of dining out, the security of a well-stocked pantry, the comfort of warm clothing in the winter, or even the ability to afford healthcare or education becomes a seesaw of priorities. The strain permeates through families, potentially causing stress, anxiety, and the perpetual state of uncertainty. The narrative of the American rent crisis isn't merely a tale of numbers, but a reflection of lived experiences, of dreams deferred, and of the incessant struggle to obtain a semblance of financial security in the face of mounting rents. In a world where technology advances promise to make life easier and more difficult, it's a bitter pill to swallow when those same innovations contribute to hardships. What am I talking about? The emergence of rent pricing algorithms like RealPage YieldStar is a stark example.
A computer algorithm from a Texas-based company called RealPage, illegally helping landlords fix the prices of millions of apartments around the country, spiking rents by up to 7%. With more than 20 of the largest landlords in the country are being accused of illegally colluding to spike rents nationwide.
These algorithms, though wrapped in the guise of market efficiency, carry a cold, calculating approach to the matter as fundamental as housing. RealPage algorithm sift through a torrent of data, analyzing lease transactions from landlords' competitors in the same geographic area. Then it spits out a recommended price for available apartments. Now the process seems to stir the waters of the rental market, setting off a chain reaction of rising prices that cascades through communities, leaving a trail of financial strain in its wake.
And what they do is they give them software to charge their leasees, the people who rent their property, whatever it is their monthly amount. But here's the catch. They get paid more if the landlords charge more. And it gets better. Since their business model is so massive, they figured out that if they just get all of their landlords to work together and charge increased rent amounts, they would have the whole game. If all of the landlords work together and artificially increase rent, then what choice do the renters have? Landlords make money, RealPage makes money. The only people that lose out is the renters.
Landlords armed with data-driven insights find themselves on the path of relentless price hikes, often in sync with their market competitors. This dance of escalating rents have people alarmed. People are freaking out. Critics argue that this algorithm-driven price setting has morphed into a silent conductor of a distressing situation of unaffordable housing for many, many people. This cold approach to rent pricing is more than just a shift in technology, it's a shift in the very ethics of the landlord-tenant relationship. The tenants on the receiving end of this tech-driven price surge find themselves in a whirlpool of financial uncertainty. The dread of the impending rent hike dictated by an impersonal algorithm lurks around, often overshadowing the basic sense of security and stability that a home should provide. The question that looms large is, at what cost does efficiency come and who pays the price? Tell me in your comments below, are you considered to be rent burdened? How are you handling rent? What's the rent prices in your area? Let me know, put in the comments below. Thank you for taking time to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.